Der hat heute Morgen reagiert. Danach waren wir in was?
Hello, everyone. Ina, I had to mute you. I could hear you talking, so sorry. Okay, welcome back, everyone. Let me get to the presentation. Share. Ah, okay. Hopefully, you can all see this. Just go to slideshow. Ah, okay. So, Calvin Klein. I guess a bit more of a commercial outcome on this one, rather than a more sort of luxury fashion brand. It's more a premium luxe brand, sporty streetwear, a bit cooler, a bit more fun, a bit more playful, and some really nice work today. So I've seen some of you submitted your work to the website as well. So I'm going to have to bounce between two. So if you're wondering, I'm going through this work like this, and then I'll go through the work on the website as well, which I noticed some of you've added it today. So I'm going to have a quick look. Ina, I can see, Ina, you're with us today after my last disaster of not recording. I don't know if you can hear me, Ina.
Yes, yes, I'm here. Sorry, I'm just coming upstairs
That's okay, because we
from
could
an
hear
appointment.
we could hear you talking earlier.
Okay, perfect. I'm
And
nearly home, so
okay. Do you want me to come to you next?
yes, we can do that.
Okay, let me move to Kaz. So once you get back in, I'll do you next. Kaz,
Perfect.
how are you, Kaz?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I guess a few things. Um, I see you've been doing lots of work. What, explain yourself, because I see you doing lots of backstage illustration work. What's been going on? Because I was trying to work out exactly what you've been up to.
Yeah, so I got contacted by the organizer of it was like Runway by Minaz, which was in Dubai, and she's also a designer who was at London Fashion Week last September. So
Nice.
I drew some of her work from London Fashion Week, and then she contacted me and said, "I have this event I'm organizing. Would you like to come?" Um, it was exactly like Fashion Scout, like you can just go and draw like backstage or during the shows, etc. And yeah, I just went and got the opportunity to draw there
And where was that? Was that in
in
Dubai?
Dubai. Yes, in Dubai.
Wow, did they cover all the costs? And
No, no. I
no.
mean, they gave dinner and stuff. Yeah,
Okay, so
but they didn't.
um,
Yeah, so they cover the cost of like no tickets and stuff, so I could have access to everything without paying for that. Not
okay.
travel. Yeah.
Okay. Because it probably would have been nice if they could have covered all the costs,
Yes.
which would have been, I don't know if that was an option or you were just happy that it was nice to be invited, get to see the scenes. Because she was a designer from Dubai, was she?
um, I'm not exactly sure if she's from Dubai, but I know she's based in LA as well.
Okay. Because I know a lot of people who've been contacted by those who've drawn at London Fashion Week for Fashion Scout, and some of them have been paid. So don't feel scared to ask for money.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because even though it's nice for you to do it, the goal of Fashion Scout, or what we're trying to do, is to make sure that when people do invite you, that you say, okay, well, I need my time covered and my flight and my travel covered. Otherwise, I can just cover it like online or something like that, unless you want to go to Dubai. But I would have thought most people would want it to be paid for them. So it was super nice of you to do that. But personally, it would have been good if they covered your, because other designers have covered costs and paid artists to do work. So
Mm.
in the future for yourself, otherwise it's just you're going to go down a rabbit hole. And I know you're portfolio building, but
Mhm.
it tastes nicer if you're paid.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll
So
remember for next time. Yeah.
anyway, next time, but it was good to see what you're doing. I hadn't spoke to you, so I wanted to ask. But it's good that the lead came out of it, and I know, Fashion Scout was one of the first times you've done it, so it was a good experience. And that was a little bit more experience, and hopefully it leads on to more. But some of these designers, if they want to use the work or need something, it's just getting into a system of learning to say, okay, well that bit needs to be paid for, and you're lucky your other jobs can't always cover your creative subjects as well. So,
Mhm.
but anyway, so back to Calvin Klein because it's good for people to hear the opportunities that come from it. It's just really I wanted to know if you were getting paid and stuff because we're quite try to be quite strict moving forwards for you.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I'm kind of pushing that. Okay, so sorry, what happened there? So Kaz, I think the one on the right, compositionally, really nice. My question to you, because I'm starting to get to grips with your work, is where do you see your work going now? What's your plan? Because now you've done Fashion Scout, you've illustrated in Dubai. Um, I always try and work out because I think you're getting to a nice place. It's really how do we get this work to get some commissions and how does it become editorial based that it can actually get used? So there's more to come. Or have you thought about a plan?
Yes and no. So I have been looking around at places to maybe have like a small exhibition or some sort, just to produce some pieces. Um, because I've just moved to Germany, so I am looking at places. I also went to Zurich just to have a look around, and then places here like there's some hotels and some cafes, etc. Um, but I think the end goal for me, like it'd be nice to illustrate, say, to keep illustrating live as well and live events, but also magazine sort of work as
Yeah,
well.
I think live events seems to be the one that is paying the most by far.
Hmm.
So if you can get as much of that promoted as possible, I think that's the area. Like we've got a lot of our work at the moment seems to be in LA
Mm.
for live events. Like we've got one coming up next week. And Ashley, who's another member, this is her third or fourth job in LA. So we've got some really good contacts in LA. Germany, there's quite a few people based in Germany. I can't remember if Kahori's in, no, she's in Milan. Carlotta Hay is in Germany. And there's a few people. Ina, you're in. Ina, where are you based?
Mm, I'm based in Berlin, but Carlotta, she's based in Australia.
Yes, but
So she is from Germany,
I
but
thought
she
she
lives in
moved from
Australia.
I thought she goes from Germany to Australia and she moves around.
Her
But
parents are still here, yeah.
yeah, so there's
Mhm.
a,
She's quite
so
often in Germany.
Kaz, where are you based? Are you in Berlin?
No, I'm right in the south of Germany, so I'm opposite Switzerland.
Okay. All right, so a bit of a distance away, but there are a few people and Ina runs some classes, drawing classes as well, which are quite nice, which we've been sharing. So about is it aboutfashion.org? Is that correct, Nina?
Um, yes, About Fashion is from Silke Geib,
Yes, Silke,
and
yes.
I'm not sure if she's today with us.
No, she's not with us today. That's why,
Ah,
because I know you run some of the sessions, don't you?
yeah, we have like some workshop sessions together and like a series of workshop and also Silke, she's doing like a lot of mentoring, coaching, video coaching in the field, more in the field of fashion design.
Yeah.
But yeah, also
Yeah. I guess it's good to understand, and if you're in that world, Kaz, and it would be interesting because I know Germany, um, uh, Joanna Layla did some work for German Fashion Week, and I know a lot of it's quite big, but they kind of push the digital space for German Fashion Week. So I think if you can. And in Germany, live events is really big. Like you've got Anya Kabul. There's a little group of live event illustrators. So you
Mm,
should reach out to them because they did tell me that if they're busy, they look for other illustrators in Germany.
mm.
So I guess all of you should look at that. So Kaz, if you want me to connect you to some of them, um, there's a few that you could reach out to that offer opportunities
Mhm. Yeah, no, that'd
with
be good.
live events. I'll put it up on the Slack group.
Okay, yeah, perfect. Thank you.
But regarding your work that you've shown here, you know, I think you're kind of hitting a moment now where I feel that the work's got a nice breadth. I think if you can think about doing a consistent range and how do these translate into live event works? Because a lot of people contact us and say, what can Kaz do in 5 minutes?
Mm.
And that's going to be your biggest question is how fast can you do it and what can you do in a certain time? So I would have Upwork if we see a lot of the fashion illustrators who are doing live events, they're putting up time frames because I'm guessing this drawing on the right, if I'm right, is more than an hour's worth of work.
Yes, probably. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So you won't have 1 hour, but I think for doing fashion editorial work is fine. But so I would be wanting to get fashion editorial work, and then live event you're going to have to work out a style that you'll feel you're happy with. But you were achieving some of them goals in London Fashion Week, so I feel keep keep pushing the live events because that will give you enough money and a bit more play um, to get opportunities. But it was great having you at London Fashion Week, and it was great to see you really taking part. So well done, Kaz. And I think your work's really come on, and it's really lovely, and it's sort of fresh, and it's got a really nice playful side to it. And it's quite sophisticated, so I like it, and it really represents you and your personality. So I feel we've got to a good point now. I just want to see you get some jobs.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's the goal. Right. Okay. Anyway, Kaz, excellent. Lovely to see you as well and here.
Yeah. Thank you.
I wanted to go back to Ina. Ina,
Yes,
these are
I'm
the
here again. Sorry.
you've returned, but so in theory, like because I missed you, we missed each other last week and last time, and I had the recording switched
Yes.
off. And I think what's been quite interesting about your work from 2 points of view
Hmm.
is compositionally, like the one on the right with the profile is a really lovely composition. And I always try and think what feedback can I give and how can I be critical or whatever. Is there was a really nice portrait you did recently, which reminded me of Marlene Dumas.
Oh, yeah, yeah, the one red and black and white.
Yes,
Yeah, brown
that
and red. Hmm.
so if I'm being tough,
Okay,
because I like to be tough,
be
is
tough.
is sometimes you have to think, is the mark making decoration or is the art making deliberate? And
Yeah.
that's the question you should ask yourself because sometimes I feel you're trying to fill the void. And
Mm. To
sometimes I
decorate. Yeah.
feel you're actually drawing like that the way you've done the back on the person on the right, it really gives a sort of sense of shadow and an echo to the shape and the form. Where the one on the
Mhm.
left, where you've done the background, feels like decoration.
You mean the one with the red?
With the red, the one with the
Yes.
red feels decorative, and it
Because
feels like
yeah.
how do I make this look better? Where
Hmm.
the one on the right feels like you did it deliberately because it gives a sense of form. It creates shape. And I think that's me being critical because the
Mm,
work
I
the work
agree.
is really nice and I'm trying to think how do we move forward from this? And it's
Mm,
really uh, when I was at university, I remember the tutors always saying to me, um, draw make sort of the mark 3 times and then draw, so don't actually touch the paper, so you're always sort of going through a process of do I make it, do I do it, do I do it, and then make it, and then it's sort of a decision making process, and I feel you need to kind of go through a process of is this starting to feel decorative and is this feeling deliberate, and I think the only person I can feel who's sort of nailing it now is Cecilia Karlstead. I think she's got it down to a perfect art of what looks like deliberate. I feel her work in fashion is good. Her work in editorial for other work, I'm not a bigger fan. But I think whenever she does fashion, because she obviously loves what she's doing, she seems to nail it. But when she did a drawing, a portrait of Tom Hanks, and for me it felt over illustrated.
hmm
Where her work for fashion, which is probably either underpaid or low paid, and she's more creative, she makes more bolder decisions,
True.
and I think that's where I see on the right where you've even the way you did the blue on the arm and the
Mm,
blue on the back of the jeans looks you made a decision. The red in the hair looks like you're being decorative, you're coloring in.
true, because it's like
It adds no value.
supposed to do that. It's something, oh yeah, let's do that, the next step.
Yes,
And it's
yes, yes. So
too obvious somehow.
yes, so it's
Mm,
adding no real strength. But
you're right.
that's me being tough because I think the
No,
two
no,
piece the
it
two
gives me a
pieces
lot.
work
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
But what you've also got to remember because I've drawn lots of different stuff and I've done watercolor drawing and mark making, and the one on with the red probably will get you more work than one on the right.
Could be more commercial,
It's
right?
more commercial. So the work when I talk about decorative, and that's why you're doing it, is because you feel like people want value for their what they're paying, and people love to go, wow, look at all of the bleeding of the blacks, and it's really
Exactly.
nice. And I
Like
can
special
see,
effects, you know?
yes, it's effect. It's like special effects. It's
Yeah,
effect.
exactly.
So you're doing special effects with watercolors. So but for me, I'd rather you make bold decisions, and
Hmm
that has a purpose. That had a like in between the arm, you've done that little line, and it bleeds, and it gives a shadow. It has a role, where
It
the
is
other one has no role. It's just
more decorative.
decoration, and I think
Exactly.
that's the biggest feedback I can give you because. But the one on the right is the one in the right is lovely, and I think
Mm,
is a really nice. The hair's beautiful. The way you've drawn it, and unfortunately people don't appreciate when it's right, and it's hard. You could do 100, and this one seems to be the one that works.
exactly.
And even the line under the arm and all the delicate feelings. I think it was a picture that really resonated with you and just
Yes.
captured. And that's why that picture, the portrait, and I liked it, was the Dumas. It reminded me of Marlene Dumas, and I thought this is
Mm,
really good. Every element in it looked like a decision,
yeah.
not decoration.
Mm,
So I
it's
knew
a
what I was going to
process.
say to you, even if you didn't show me these two drawings. But when I picked them, there was a reason because I wanted to think about why I picked one over the other.
Exactly.
All right?
Yeah, like it was a decision, but what you tell, it's like sometimes difficult to find the balance between being artistic and good in it and being like open for commercial projects, you know.
Yes.
And to find this
Yeah, it's the
balance
balance. It's the
is
balance. And I think the balance is really
so
difficult.
tough. Yeah.
Yeah. And I usually, the work, when I look back and I think, oh, that was really decorative,
Mm,
gets me the most work. And the work that is really, I feel is really arty, and I thought, oh, that's a really great piece, and I get nothing. And it's
Exactly.
just life. So my advice is you show both with all work, and then you
Yeah.
listen to the opportunities that come from it. And I can bet you any money the one on the red one will get you more work, but the one on the right will get you the special jobs.
The better jobs,
The bet, the really, the
the good
unique,
ones.
yes, because the really good companies, like when I worked for Dior, they were like,
Mhm.
we love this drawing because of your hand movement. So they really understood drawing, and
Wow.
they really digested and that was the feedback. Like this, you made a really good decision, and they gave me really hard feedback when I did it wrong. So I'm passing on that knowledge.
Actually, I really love this thinking process behind illustration.
Yes.
Maybe more than the process of handcraft.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's about decision making. Drawing
Hmm.
is about decision making. And probably one of the biggest masters of drawing decision making is David Hockney. I think
Hmm.
he's the master of drawing, and his decision making of how he makes what draws, what he doesn't draw. He's the master class. And I think if you need advice, look at David Hockney.
Okay,
Look at
I
his
will note
etchings.
this. I will
Yes, I
note.
think he's the man. Anyway, Ina, great work. Well done.
Thank you.
Next, Carlotta. Carlotta's Australia, so I don't think Carlotta's here, but we'll speak about Carlotta's work. And Carlotta, a little bit like we talk about fine art and fine art drawing, which is really interesting from Carlotta's work is, it's not, I really like that yellow CK mark, and she is thinking about it from an advertising point of view. I can really see the advertising imagination hitting here. So, Carlotta, lovely drawings as always, and I really like this sort of like it's very sort of photographic drawing, and almost going into sort of traditional drawing. And there's a real sort of interesting technique coming up, and this sort of your mark making is getting really nice. And I feel there's a real space for your work. The only thing, if I'm being hard, like we want to be tough, is how do we get out away from black and white drawing? And that's the biggest challenge that all of us have is with pencil drawing. Could you try this in coloring pencils and use coloring pencils as the medium? I remember Connie Lim saying to me she banned herself from black. And I think that was really good. A good thought process is you maybe need to create constraints. So then Calvin Klein shorts could have been used with a blue, and then you could maybe use blues and colors. Can you build up an image with color rather than using pencil drawing? Because then it feels sort of fine art uh, and artisan, not commercial. So we have to kind of get what's the role of the drawing and where's it going to sit in today's world. So Carlotta, the drawings I love. I just wonder what happens if you add what would the color process be if we add color. Um, Next, Susanna Gomez. I'm not too sure if Susanna's on here. I can't see her name. Susanna, really interesting drawing, and I'm trying to think back to illustrators or artists, and I can see you sort of stripping back the sort of drawing and the mark making. And like I was saying to Ina earlier, is what is the role of the color? Because you've got a really nice drawing style, and I'm trying to work out where do we take this next, and what else does it? I think it needs color, some color in the hair, or a bit of a color in the lips, or some. It needs something more because the disconnect between the color in the background and the perfume bottle. And I like you've used that sort of color, the gold foiling is really nice. But we need something to go into that face. Otherwise, it doesn't feel finished. And I think that's the biggest feedback that I can give to you. So, Susanna, I think a really comprehensive drawing, really nice. it just now needs, and look at old Antonio Lopez drawings because he did lots of drawings with coloring pencils, but he had it's that next injection of color. Next was Tamio. I think Tamio's on here. Hi, Tamio.
Oh, hello.
Hello. Because
Hello.
your drawings are online as well, and I saw this. So I can see your advertising brain coming into play here, Tamio, and I think this was a really nice sort of drawing. And what would be interesting for these, Tamio, is potentially, and I know this is criminal, could you put them into AI and ask to add them onto the packaging of a Calvin Klein box?
Well, I could try.
Yeah, because I think that's where they need to be, is they feel like they would be the packaging for und underwear or something, and they feel very sort of what Calvin could do in Japan. I think in Britain, it's too sophisticated for Britain, but I think in Europe, where they appreciate like Paris, maybe Italy, but I don't. I think in Paris and Spain and Asia would appreciate the way you've drawn this. In England, I don't know. It's too painterly for the UK. We're not sophisticated enough for it. So
Yeah,
I
because
think it would be nice to see them on packaging and really look at what's his name's work, the guy from Japan, Hiroshi Tanabe, how he presents his work. Have you bought his book?
no, no. But yeah, I know his work,
Yeah,
yeah.
I done an interview with him, but it would be nice to see this work in play because I think in his early work he did a lot of that, showing his work in the position of the product, and then he got work from Anasui. He got lots of work from it, so it would be nice to see how this works in packaging. Like put it on the box. We've got AI now. Use it in a positive way and incorporate your drawing on it. I did some work recently with AI to see how my drawings would look like if they were debossed or embossed into paper. Maybe you could say, could you create this drawing and make the black relief, the grey could be embossed, and the Calvin Klein could be gold foiled. Have you tried any of that?
No, no. Yeah,
Well,
try to use AI minimum. Yeah, but
No,
yeah, okay.
I'm the same, but I use it just to imagine what my work would look like if it was using different printing processes.
Okay, I'll give it a go.
Give it a go, but I really like these two, Tamio, and I thought they were really nice. And when you do these line drawings, this is when they really work. And I think there's a great space for this. It just needs to, because art directors sometimes don't have the imagination. You have to help them. So if you show it on the box, how does it work? But I do feel you need a back, you need a profile, you need a close up of the lower body. Yeah, so maybe do some more drawings for different packaging because this feels like it could be for some sort of leggings or something like that. Like I'm trying to think, what would I use this for? And it would probably be an ad for leggings.
Because I used their last advertising campaign with I guess Dakota Johnson. Actually,
Ah,
she's not wearing anything, so I
well,
just put in minimum.
yeah, yeah, but what was it? What was she actually advertising?
I
Just
think
Calvin Klein in
underwear,
general. Ah, it was for underwear.
underwear.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So they've stripped it back to nothing, but I think. Um, like here it could be used for any underwear and I think it's really nice and I could really see this also going to be used in spas, anything to do with health, which is more about natural health, not going to the gym but more for spa health like relaxing, yoga, all them places you'll get work for this time. I definitely yoga and places like that. They love this sort of like line Japanese feel because it's very, very, relaxed and zen. It's a sort of a zen way of drawing.
Yeah, and the silhouette, I try to make it kind of like a CK kind of thing. No?
Very sneaky. I've just seen that now. Good, good, and I think that's your graphic design mind thinking, which is
Yeah,
which is
that's what I
which is
had in
nice.
mind here.
Good, good, good. That all them little things help because graphic designers will start to appreciate that and go, "Oh, I didn't even see that. That's a nice segue, a nice trick." But good, Tammy. I really like it and well done. These two are great.
Thank
Really,
you.
really, really nice. Well done. And nice to hear you back.
Thank
Uh,
you.
Valia. Um, I don't know if Valia's on here. Let's have a look. Valia's not here. I know she's usually busy. Yes, Valia. Um, the orange one, really nice. I'm trying to think. Calvin Klein with these explosive colors. Would Calvin Klein be as brave as that? I think they would use the blue one on the right, more Yves Klein blue, but these bright reds and yellows may be too powerful for Calvin Klein. You could easily, I would just convert this into black and white probably if I was doing it, or trying to think of more, unfortunately, more American colors. Calvin Klein is like Tommy Hilfiger. They're pure America, so it would be red and blue. And as much as I hate to say that, that's what it is. And they're very patriotic with their branding. And if you did this in red and blue, I would try and do it in Photoshop just to fix it, to see what happens. But Valia, and I know doing still life, and I quite like that you haven't over illustrated the underwear because sometimes you can draw things beautifully, like you did many moons ago for Chanel. The Chanel drawings are still one of my favorite that you've done of the eye and the lips and the lipstick, and this is coming back to it a little bit. So, Valia, beautiful work as always. Um, Next, Carolina. I don't think Carolina's here, but it's worth having a look and talking about it. Carolina, really good. You know, fascinating portraits. You seem to have mastered this side of the face. Um, Now you've sort of mastered it. Yeah, and I guess portraiture seems to be your space. Uh, where do we go next? That's the big question is how do we um, do these portraits in a new way or how do you master them even more? Because the technique and the style is amazing, the work's amazing. But me being like trying to be like a Picasso person is how do we move on from this traditional style? But you could do this forever, and I think it's amazing. And I remember Nadia Kulrista, I always pushed her, and in the end, I think I wore her out with different approaches to drawing. But Carolina, beautiful work, and I think everyone can agree that this is amazing. So I would like to see. I don't know where to go really. Is the drawing's really comprehensive, beautifully done. Maybe some of the background is a bit unfinished because I know you're trying to work away. But look at Jonathan Yeo. He done the portrait of the king. Um, could you? He does lots of abstraction within his work uh, from an artistic point of view because I can see you've kind of left where the hair is. Could you try and do a few unfinished bits? Or is there like Chuck Close? I'm a big fan of Chuck Close. Chuck Close does hyperrealism. How do you finish this off so it's all perfect? And I think look at Chuck Close. Look at Chuck Close's work. He made portraits doing using thumbprints, abstracting it. And I think that's what a really good creative does is where next? They push the portrait further. So I feel you've got this to an amazing point. Where next? I'm interested in where next. So well done, Carolina. Um, I think I missed one. No. Iris, I saw Iris is here.
Yes, hi, how are you?
I'm okay, Iris. So I had I had interesting feedback for your drawing.
Great.
Do you want to? No, it's not great. Do you want to hear what they? Do you want to hear what they said?
Yes.
Did she make it in AI?
No, she spent 15 hours
Yeah.
embroidering.
I spent 3 hours arguing with them.
Um, I don't know. I
They
did it.
didn't. They didn't believe that you did all of that because obviously we're now become lazy. And someone had because I shared it. They're like, "Ah, you're sharing this AI stuff," and I said, "It's not in AI. It's done by hand." And they were like, "No, it's not." And they went, "Well, look at the details. It's all done by AI." And I was like, "It it isn't." So there's a bit of strange feedback that you got from someone online.
It's very strange because in my Facebook, all the, I don't know, 5,000 friends I have there, like I never got so many good responses, and I got so many asking me to sell it. I mean, nobody thought, and I'm very good with it. For years, I've practiced Midjourney. They know I was big in AI, and none of them suspected it was AI.
Yeah, I look, because I guess we're meant to be promoting best practice. We're under the watchful eye of many people, and many people comment on, and they don't necessarily put it on the comments. They write it to us as a DM, and that was one of the messages I got, and I was like, "Are you for real?" But I laughed. I had to laugh, and I just thought, yeah, I think where it was so they didn't realize that you were able to weave the colors that cleverly
I didn't
together
believe it too. I was amazed by the result.
because it has a painterly effect, and they didn't
Yeah.
believe it. And I said, no, no. I sent the person other examples of your work
Yes.
to prove it wasn't AI, and they just stopped responding.
I take it as the biggest compliment I could get because to amaze them, wow, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. So that was an interesting response, but I think these are great, and one of the reasons we do this is to pull out something that is not normal, and you've kind of done something a little bit outside the box, and I think we need to share more of this, and there needs to be more, and you need to think about how this sort of applique sort of technique that you're using is integrated into fashion as well, because I think something like this could be a detail. I had a student who was very similar to this years ago, and she went and worked at McQueen, and
Wow.
she went to the school for, I can't remember what it's called, and it's a special for needle and thread university, and it's all about needlework, and it's in Britain. I don't know what it's called. You might know, but I don't. I can't remember. But she went there. She did a year there, and then I spoke to her, and then she said, "Oh, I'm doing these for Alexander McQueen." Many years ago, when she did it, I think it was just at the beginning of COVID. She did a bumblebee, and I interviewed her and shared it, and she was one of our judges, because I love to have people like what you're doing in the mix. So it's not only about drawing, it's drawing in new media, and not only technology. So I think, Iris, these are excellent, and I love what you're doing, and I think it's modern Van Gogh. Well done.
Wow, thank you. Thank you.
No?
And I want to comment something too. Um, I really love these monthly challenges. It brings me new ideas. I think the embroidery started at the last challenge,
Yeah.
and it's very good to me. It really opened new horizons for me each time. But this time I had troubles with personally, I didn't really connect with the theme of Calvin Klein. I didn't want to draw, no matter the technique, but personally, I had some critic about the images. So I decided not to do like something for Calvin Klein, but instead to draw inspiration to do my art, relying on the inspiration. And I changed her body and I removed the logo, and it became something that I'm saying, and I feel more confident this way. And maybe it's not very commercial for Calvin Klein, or not even worth showing it to them. But for me, it gave me an excuse to create something new that I wouldn't do otherwise.
Well, I'll tell you something interesting I heard once. Disney never employs people who draw Mickey Mouse.
Okay,
So think about that. Calvin Klein won't employ people who draw Calvin Klein. Same,
interesting.
same philosophy. So people don't want to use people who are looking only at them. They want people who are making pieces of content or work that represents something. And this is what captures the imagination. But a lot of commercial people really want to see how your work responds to brands. It enables people to find a common theme. But when you advance your drawings a bit further, or you want to get something different, it's nice that you went, well, Calvin Klein doesn't really evoke any feelings to me, but this idea of the body, the nude, the figure, stripping things back did work, and maybe it helped with the coloration. And I really like, it feels like you're looking at all of the veins, or there's this sort of stretching of muscles through the threads that has made this work really interesting. Did you look at Mark Grosjean, who I mentioned?
It who?
Mark Grosjean. Did you look at his work?
No, I don't
Ah,
know.
I
I
mentioned
wouldn't
him in the
include
last
it.
one, and I think because I didn't press the record button properly, but Mark
Can you spell the
Grosjean,
name?
G-R, Mark, G-R-O, J-A-H-N. So it's Grojahn, Mark Grosjean. He's part of Gagosian Gallery. I'm sure I mentioned him.
Ah,
Do you
I think
remember?
I looked when you said last time. Yes.
Yeah, Mark Grosjean. That he's part of Gagosian Gallery, and he draws how he paints how you draw. Have a
William
look at him. He draws with
Guggenheim.
a palette knife, and he makes these like spindly marks. And he also draws like these sort of linear. He calls them butterflies, but you need to have a look at his work. But he's more tribal work that he does
Yeah, I
is
see it now. I found him.
yeah. So he's more tribal painting with palette knives. Reminds me of what sort of where you're going. But I like the work, the way you're using this needle and thread process. So Iris, it's really nice, and I'm glad that you said no, I'm not doing Calvin Klein. I'm doing something that helps me just as a response piece to Calvin Klein, but not
Exactly.
Calvin Klein. That's good. That's an independent thinker. So and as I said, people who work for Disney don't want people to draw Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, it's huge. Thank you so much for saying that.
All right, good. Iris, excellent, and more. Keep
But what about the AI thinking? Maybe I should take a picture with a needle or something.
100%, please, because I spent 3 hours telling them it was real. So don't,
Okay,
please, for my critics.
it's very good feedback. Thank you so
All
much.
right, cheers, Iris. Thank you. Deleter, I'm not too sure if Deleter's on here. Let me have a look. Deleter, you're not here. Okay, Deleter, lovely drawings. I'd like to hear your thoughts in the future, because I know you had some interesting feedback from before regarding Vivian Westwood. You've left university, so it's interesting to hear how you've got on. And this sort of Americana red, blue, black and white. This is what I was talking about earlier with Carlotta, is to really think about how do we introduce color into what would be traditionally a black and white drawing. So I think, Delita, you sort of maybe answered a bit of my question, but I would still like to see, can we have a bit more color in there? Could we have added a bit of tone of red? Could there be more colors? Almost like if you're doing printmaking, this CMYK, could you do that into the drawing? So let's have a think about that. So Delita, a lovely drawing and really comprehensive. So excellent work. Is Let me just check if that was everyone on there. So that was everyone in this presentation. And then I know some of you posted your work on here. So I'm trying not to miss anybody. Let's have a look. Anur, I'm not too sure. Is Anur on here? No. Anur, a really nice drawing. I'm trying to remember last time if I had any feedback. There's a really lovely another illustrator who did some Bulgari work, and this is a really and her name's Julia Michelle. I think she's based in Germany. She gets lots of work for watchmakers, um, Rolex, brands like that for a style like yours. You should be getting work from them. So keep up this work. It's very commercial and it gets lots of work, especially in the product for luxury wear. Like, look, you've got that little piece of jewelry. For me, this sort of style of drawing is Bulgari, brands like that, Tiffany. Think about rings, think about hands. Your work really fits in with that. And look at Julia Michel, I think her name is. I interviewed her in the last IFIW, which we're hoping to bring back. So excellent, Anu. Carlotta's we saw. Um, Anita, really nice watercolor. I love the flowers coming out and the face merging into the background. Some interesting drawings happening in here. And I'm glad you didn't use pencil to draw here. You used a watercolor brush, which is really cool. So some nice work here. Well done, Anita. And I think I'm trying to remember, Arch, back if you handed in something last time. Maybe I missed it, but this sort of watercolor splash. I've got some old books. Have a look at illustration now. And there's lots of, I think that I was featured in it, Connie was featured in it many years ago. And there's similar illustration style here. So very editorial, very commissionable, this work. So Anita, really nice. And similar here, but I think I prefer this one. This one's better than the other one. This one's they're too abstract from each other. I think the other one's nicer. Helen, you were late to the game, I think, this time, handing in the work, but it's up and you've loaded it up there, so well done. I can see you've jumped online.
Hi. Hi.
Hello.
I put it in about a week ago.
Ah,
Yeah, so I
because
don't know what
Diane
happened.
was telling me that you wasn't too sure if you were going to do anything, or
Oh
was
yeah,
that?
no, I put it in the new system.
Ah, okay. Well, it's up there, and luckily we checked because we wasn't too sure if everyone had submitted. But really nice. The white. What did you do with the? Is that a white Uniposca pen or
Yeah,
Tipex?
I think it's a Posca pen. I was experimenting with different ones. So the last time I talked to you, you said try and experiment with different um, fabrics to work
Ah,
it. I was
okay.
doing the shiny,
Yeah,
I feel
shiny fabrics are very hard to do.
very hard, but I said I'd give myself a challenge,
Yes.
turning at
No,
the
no,
moment.
no. So I think on the boots. So are you doing lots of practicing with because you're doing another short course somewhere, aren't you?
No, it's a year, but I'm going to transfer to kind of illustration. I'm doing a fashion design course. It's a year and it's heavy on sewing and construction, pattern drafting. There's some
Right.
drawing, but not
Not
as
a
much as,
lot.
yeah.
Ah, okay. And
So I'm
who's
actually
that
trying,
with? Is that with LCF?
no, it's close to Dulac.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, but then I'll be transferring to Ballyfermot. They're well known for editorial illustration
Okay.
and animation.
Could you send me a link to that
The college.
university?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so just so I can have a look at it to check it out.
Sure.
Because I sometimes like we speak to different universities and try and understand. Like I speak to LCF all the time. I review some of their work, and it's nice to see what work they're doing, how your work fits into their space, and try and understand. Like I went into Kingston not long ago and reviewed some of the students' work just to get an understanding of what is being produced
Yeah.
is it industry ready? Is there opportunities there?
It's very heavy on design, but a lot on construction, pattern
Right,
crafting and construction.
right.
But we do have a drawing module, but it's more like designing motifs and stuff, not like illustrating figures.
Yes, okay.
It's a
Chris Gambrell, have you seen his course?
no, what's
So Chris Gambrell's good. And also Ina does the class. I don't know if Ina's is online as well, but it might only be in person. It's called About Fashion. So I'll share that on Slack.
oh lovely. That's great.
They do really good drawing courses, experiences. If you want to learn lots more about different techniques and approaches, and because
Okay.
you're at the beginning of your experience, and
This
it's
type of
nice,
drawing. Yeah,
yeah, and it's nice to get sort of some support regarding drawing, because
definitely.
this is kind of feedback. Like I think a class where you're kind of working and getting direct
Yeah,
feedback is a really
like a
nice system.
very nice, definitely.
Yeah, and I think just to see draw it like this, draw it like that.
Hmm. Yeah.
I'll try and see if I can send you some of the links because in some of the books that we did a few online books, and in the books has 10 or 15. I'm not too sure if there was 8 or 10 videos of really good line drawing or drawing techniques from
Okay.
Connie and a variety of people, Poppy Waddy Love, showing you approaches to drawing.
Okay.
So they're quite good. So I can get Di to share them as well because
Lovely.
it depends on how much you want to spend or how much time you want to spend
I
or
know.
whatever and keep that budget down.
Hmm.
Um, but nice. And it's good that you're trying these sort of pop colors. But if you're using Pantones to draw or markers,
Markers.
with
Yeah.
markers, you can, if you go over them a few times, or even if you use a light gray, you can add in shadows. But
Oh,
you're illustrating in a very what I would call fashion design way.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so at the moment, this is very fashion design
Yeah.
because I teach also drawing rendering at
Oh,
university. So how to approach something like this and using different like the blender tool. I don't know if you're using the blender or
no.
experimenting with different Pantones.
Okay.
You need and buy yourself some watercolor pencils because
Mhm.
they really work nicely with the
Oh, the
Pantone.
ink tents, the Durant ink tents are quite nice.
Yes, yes, lovely.
Yeah,
Really good and strong colors. So
yeah.
having the nice pencils is they're expensive, but you know they're the only sort of way to get I guess a good drawing.
Yeah.
But I think if you look at it, if I'm giving you feedback from a drawing perspective,
Mhm.
look at her. She's kind of leaning back too
Mhm.
much. She needs to come.
Yeah, yeah,
She needs to
yeah.
come forward. And
Yeah.
the tip for that is
Mhm.
when you draw put a
Mhm.
little dot at the top of the page and a dot at the bottom in the middle.
Okay.
And then make sure the head meets that point and
The
make sure
straight
the
down.
feet, and that will keep the person forward.
Okay. Very
In a
good.
very base, it's a very simple approach,
I know.
but it means that if you didn't want to do lines through the body,
Yeah.
you
I
could
know
then
what you
make sure
mean.
that the head needs to touch there.
Hmm.
And I don't know how you're drawing it, um,
Just
because
very gestural, but I know it would have a better sense of balance or something. I know it's not quite right. Yeah. Um, at that point, yeah, the head and the feet. The head should be over the feet, and you could exaggerate the curve of the body. Nice.
Yeah, I wonder if I could if anyone on him in time because there's lots of good drawers. If when we do one of these days that people could do a 10-minute drawing session each of the people that draw a lot because I know Iris draws a lot, Ina, Kahori draws a lot of fashion, Kaz. There's lots of people on here who draw Tamio on painting lines. So there's a whole mix of people on here. Maybe they could we could work out a way that you could share each other a little process
Mm-hmm.
and it could all help each other. I'll have a think about it because I have mentioned this before about different members sharing processes
See,
without.
my approach would be before I was doing this course, I would do a lot of kind of fine art painting, but a lot of life drawing, the figure. It's
Yeah.
quite different to do it small scale for me is kind of
Yeah, but you should get a bigger sketchbook, A3 sketchbook. Don't just
okay.
draw A4.
Okay. Okay, I know what you mean.
And then you need to practice drawing on A6 sketchbooks
Okay.
because then when you draw A4, it's really easy.
Okay.
So go really small, and then when
Okay.
you move up to big to A4, you're like, wow, there's lots of space here.
Okay.
So it's retraining the system because
I know,
you're
yeah.
used to fine art and it's drawing on big canvases and more expressive. But I
Yeah.
think go little, have a little sketchbook in your bag, A6, and draw a whole figure A6. See how hard it is.
Mhm. Okay.
It's a good test. But Helen, excellent. And I think it's good to see you testing and experimenting. But I
Mhm.
think for you, lots of playing, lots of testing, and I think there's lots of good people on here who might have courses or opportunities that are more drawing based
Yeah.
rather than fashion design based. Because
Yeah.
I think I can see slow improvements, but it's
Mhm.
really like, okay, this time I'm gonna draw it like this. This time I'm gonna draw it like that. You still look like a fashion designer.
Mhm. I know
And
what you mean.
Kahori knows this because she's a fashion,
So
right?
for just the one thing you were saying, what's the big difference between kind of fine art, expressive gestural drawing and illustration? Illustration
Well,
meant to be more
depending
controlled
depending
or
on depending on the
the style?
illustrator,
Okay.
because we had Poppy Waddy Love who draws gesturally, so she draws like this, and
Okay.
her illustrations are very much like that, which is like a fine art approach, where, uh, fashion illustration we always question. Look at Richard Haynes, who draws quite quick, sporadic, and gestural, and people love his work. It's it's only because he's drawing people and fashion that it becomes fashion illustration. Otherwise, it's art. But it
Okay.
depends on who's mapping it out. Art we're now seeing is more intellectual rather than drawing based. So art is in flux. We can't even put art into this discussion
Okay. Yeah.
unless it's fine art.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Fine art is more
Mhm.
draftsmanship, and drawing and painting with hyper detail.
Yeah.
But why can't this be fine art?
Hmm. I know what you mean.
Who chooses?
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
maybe because you're drawing fashion, but we could say it's documentary drawing. Yeah. So don't,
Hmm.
I it's only fashion illustration, I think, if it's a comment on commercial fashion and that it will go editorially into fashion. So, where's it going to be placed and how's it considered? Because imagine if you had 100 of these little drawings and you
Hmm.
put them really small in a gallery,
Hmm.
it's the way you curate it that maybe then it becomes art.
Okay. I know what you mean.
There's the difference.
Okay. The context. So it can be gestural.
Yes, you can do whatever you
Okay.
want.
Okay. Anything you want. Okay.
But I think you're creating the limitations because you're doing a fashion course.
Yeah. It's
A fashion course will create this, where a fashion illustration course, if you watch any of them from Connie to Chris Gambro is really good.
mhm.
He does lots of classes on color management, and also about fashion. I don't know if they do online. I'll have to check. But we'll send you some
Yeah,
links.
that'd be great.
All right.
That's brilliant.
Good.
Thanks very much.
Kahori, think you're on here, but I don't know if she's speaking. Kohori,
Good evening.
good evening. Your background, is it in fashion or am I
Well,
wrong?
I studied fashion design at London College of Fashion 20 years ago.
Ah,
I was used to be a student, yeah. But
but but
I
did you understand what I meant when I was talking to Helen about the
yeah.
illustration looking like a fashion design drawing
Mhm,
rather than an illustration?
mhm,
There was a difference. One was trying to look like you're trying to show me the jacket, where the other one is trying to illustrate the feeling of the jacket. They have two different outcomes. And like you covered
mhm,
a fashion show backstage, and it was like an illustration, documentary illustration.
mhm,
So there's different forms of drawing, but it's if you're trying to draw something that looks like you're trying to design it,
mhm.
that's why it looked like fashion. But anyway, because I remembered you did fashion and I was trying to connect you up and I was using you as an example. Okay, so Calvin Klein, I quite like this, the juxtaposition of this sort of like linear drawing and this real life bottle for CK1. I think it would be nice if you had drawn them line drawings with chalk on a blackboard.
I wish I had this. That's the it was my idea.
Because that's how it
But I have
feels.
feeling because but I don't have blackboard and chalk. So chalk I have, yeah. But I didn't have a big enough blackboard. So if I
Yeah,
have,
you can actually draw onto black paper,
mhm.
and if you smudge some of it onto black paper, it would have given a little bit of a feeling of
Yes,
a blackboard. So you could, I reckon you could have got around it.
I had a little black paper, so
A
I didn't
little
have.
piece, yeah, yeah. But
I did.
anyway, really nice, and this would be a great campaign ad, and we're seeing lots of illustration used. Um, Tatler contacted me recently about like illustrators for Paris Fashion Week. So we're getting people looking at illustrators and asking us to recommend people. And I think, there's some really nice, but this is very commercial. A lot of people ask us, we need illustrators to actually draw fashion shows as well. So just a word of advice for everybody here. We're being looked at quite a lot by fashion magazines who are looking for illustrations of fashion shows. Just to let you know. So we do put on these talks, but do think about illustrating the shows because Tracy Tracy, I can't remember her surname, Bunny Smith, Tracy Smith. She used to illustrate a lot of the shows, and then that got her Vogue Japan, Vogue China, Vogue Japan from drawing the shows. So let's not forget, we are thinking very advertising when we're doing these projects, but do think about the collections. Don't forget them. Just as a words of advice, because Tatler contacted me last week and they were asking, can you share us some people that have been covering Fashion Week and fashion shows? So do keep drawing the shows, and I know you cover them, Kahori. So don't think about the full figure as well. So it would be nice to see how you draw the shows. So that's advice for everyone on here. Please draw some of the shows so we can share them because a lot of them are portraits that people do and they're looking for fashion show collection pieces. So please, if everybody just takes that into their brain and remembers. But Kohori, lovely here, and I would like to see you try because like I was saying earlier to Tamio, how would this look on a poster? And you can, unfortunately, you can use AI now and say, make this artwork as a poster on a piece of hoarding in New York. And art directors get inspired by seeing your work in place, and then they go, this looks great. I saw this on a hoarding. You don't care how they commission you, as long as they do. And if you leave it like this, it feels like you just illustrate it for yourself. I've done it many times, put work into underground bus stops and stuff like that. And that's how you get work. That's how Paul's got all of his work. is swapping posters with Calvin Klein posters, so I would be thinking more like that. How do you put this like it feels like it's on a poster, it's creased up, it's on a wall, or it's been ripped, and you're now an art director sees it and goes, "Ah, I saw this Calvin Klein thing. We'd like that for our perfume." So just think about it from that perspective. Don't end it here.
I wish I have a time.
No, but you've done the illustration. Now you need to just put it on a wall.
Mhm.
Yeah, put it on a bus stop. And I hate to say the AI can do it. Just get AI to put this picture on a bus stop. ChatGPT will do it lovely. Yeah, do it, Kahori, and I want to see it. Tag it to me.
I need
Uh,
to.
and this one as well. I thought they were both great. What I'd really like to see is a series of them, because when you go through London, we have like people on building sites that they put everywhere. Is you get one and then ask it to rip it and show a part of one and a part of the other, and it
Yeah,
will
I know.
feel more real and it will
Mhm.
look cooler. So I'd like to see like the top half of this ripped, and then you see the top of the bottle, and that sort of combination of the black and the white and the red. It would look really cool, and it would look really nice. I did something a little bit like that for Fashion Scout this year, where I tore all the things and animated it. So I don't know if you saw it, but I was playing with tearing things. But this would be great ripped and torn, and I think they're both really nice drawings. So lovely. But I want to see them on a post. I want to see them up. They're better than a magazine. Put them on a poster.
Okay. But
Yeah.
I maybe misunderstood this time. Do I have to submit the work on a new platform?
No,
Platform?
no, no. I was going to explain this to everyone. So what we did is I built this to test and to see if it worked. And there was a slight problem for a week, and there was something not working, and I think we were worried that it wasn't working. And then I re-uploaded it and it worked. And so some people have uploaded here, and the others that it didn't work for, they sent it to me. So you didn't do anything wrong. It was
Okay.
just that we were nervous that people might miss something, so we did both ways. But from next time, we're going to go back to this. And also, if everyone can upload their work onto this platform, if you don't have links to it, Diane will send them to you. But what you've done is the right thing, Kahori. This is the right way. Yeah?
Okay.
Because
Okay.
we will continue with this because it's easier. It's a nice process, and I can send clients and people straight to the website rather than sending them PDFs. It's so much easier. All right?
Good.
Good. Thank you, Kahori. And again, lovely. I loved all the ones that you did. And also what was good is what I was talking about Carlotta earlier is how do you make a black and white drawing with colors? And I think you've got it here. It's like a misregistered screen print,
I
very Andy
thought
Warhol
it was
style.
like a 3D effect, yeah, like
Yes.
using red and blue glasses.
Yes. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's cool. I really like it. And I think it was a really smart, nostalgic move there. I really liked it. So good work, Kahori. Anita, we saw yours. Helen, excellent. We spoke. I actually prefer this one, Helen.
Okay.
This is a really nice one. The figure's much longer. It has more form. You've drawn it much quicker. It's got more dynamism to it. It's taller, good shape. Have a look at Kaz's work as well. She should have good inspiration for you. And message Kaz if you want online. Kaz Mack is her Instagram. You should find it on here. So Helen, excellent, really nice, and you're nearly. I can see it getting there. This is less fashion design, but you're still scribbling a bit too much on your jeans. Do less line work.
Okay. Okay.
Who else is there? I saw this was good. Ah, good. You're doing a bit of collage. Well done, Helen.
Yeah.
Experiment. Keep experimenting. It's the only way you're going to learn.
Great.
Great. Good. 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 I like this. This one's nice. This is the figure hanging back, so we need to. I can see a bit of your drawing. So you've got a bit of drawing in there. I'd like to see you just do a pencil drawing. Could you do just a pencil drawing with the blue pencil?
Okay, thanks.
Because
Sorry, Patrick, I can't see the images you're talking about, but I can guess them. I've lost the screen for Zoom. I don't know how I've done that, but I
okay,
am listening to what you're saying.
okay. I'm
Okay.
talking about there's the drawing with the red, and you've drawn a leaf or something on a
Oh
collage.
yeah, so they were laminated. I was doing, yeah.
So can you draw a drawing with that blue pencil and no other color?
Okay,
With that approach to drawing, the way you've drawn the leaf is a really nice way of drawing.
okay, right.
Yes, that's the gestural drawing you're talking about, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. Why you don't seem to draw like that when you're drawing the fashion? You seem to get really tight and
Yes, yeah, I agree with you.
right.
Okay,
Change your
well,
technique. Go back.
okay,
Go to that style. Well done, Helen.
okay, thanks, Millie.
Kahori. Oh, I love these Kahori. These are really nice. Do more backstage, more of these. These are really cool. I like these. I think they're really nice. Good. Carlotte, as we saw. Helena, as we've seen. Nice. Okay, good. Right, because I tried to keep to an hour, so I've gone over an hour. But so just moving forward, everybody, for anyone who didn't upload to um, to this platform, could you please do it so at least we've got it? And then if I point someone, they can go to this site. So we're trying to build this site as an archive of all the work that you've made. And then we can send people like clients and people to this. So please, if you haven't uploaded to here, upload the work that you sent in, and then it will start, we can start sharing it. We're trying to get you work and get you noticed, and you've got Instagram on there and everything. So please, if you didn't send it to here, submit it. But lovely stuff, and thank you everyone, and well done. And I know I've gone 15 minutes over, so I tried to keep to the hour. So anyway, well done everyone. Enjoy the sun, or if you don't have sun, we have some nice weather in England for once. And we'll speak soon. And thank you so much.
Great, thanks, Millie. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye bye everyone.
Thank you, Patrick. Bye bye.
And good night.
Good night.
Good night. Have a
Good
nice
night.
evening.